Tonight we speak to the ruling party chairman, Johnstone Muthama, the former senator for Machakos. We're going to walk through the journey of the win for President Dr. William Samoei Ruto, and most importantly, what the future holds for Senator Muthama. Senator Muthama, you're very much welcome.
Thank you very much, and it is my sincere hope that I'll be able to give you answers on the issues that you'll be raising.
Absolutely.
And the best way possible. Yes.
Let's begin with you being the chairman of the UDA party, a relatively new party, but then goes to win the presidential election. You have President William Ruto and Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua. Walk us into the motions of UDA preparing to win this election and what it involved with you as chairman.
First of all, we are not the ruling party, but we are the governing party. Ruling was the terms that was being used by KANU because it was ruling, and we were being told shut up because KANU is ruling. Here, UDA party is governing the country, and it won the last general election with a landslide, and we managed to form the government of today. But the genesis of this victory is started from people with think alike minds, where the target was not to get to power as per se, but was to unite Kenyans. We looked at the tribal boundaries in this country, and we realized that from all corners of this country, if you go to Kambani, you will be told that the kingpin of this place is so and so. If you go to Western Kenya, you'll be told the same. If you go to Central, you'll be told. If you go to Kisumu, the same. And then we said, how can we unite this country, have an election that will stop Kenyans from shedding blood after the announcement of the results? And we said the best thing to go about it, first of all, is to agree to form a political party that is new. And we looked around, and at that time, you know, the deputy president was being taken around through all circles, being called names and being mistreated. And we said we have to stop that. And to stop that, first of all, was to look for a shelter. That shelter turned out to be PDR, which was in coalition with Jubilee. So we realized and agreed that by associating ourselves with that party, most members who were sympathetic to our cause, and the cause that Kenyans, they were agitating, they were allied to Jubilee, and some of them, they were within PDR. So we took PDR as a friendly coalition party to Jubilee. And with that, we protect our members. Then now we looked at the whole concept of idea, and we said, first of all, the team that we are going to put in place, there will be no tribal connections. We disassociated ourselves and kept away from having a party where the party leader comes from this community, the chair comes from the same community, the secretary general, the organizing, and so on, and the horse bearers. So we settled on the faces of Kenya. And it was decided that one of the people who have been calling for the unity of Kenyans and who has gone outside his own community and supported other people was Senator Muthama. So he'll be the most placed person now to be the chair and unite this country. And we went along that side now, changed the name from PDR to UDA, took the party, brought 4 faces in Kenya, and then that party, instead of keeping it on the top level of the leadership, like all other parties, we took it to the grassroots. We handed it over to Wananchi, and we told them, this is your Asla party that will guide you, lead you, and give you what you have been looking for as Aslas in this country. So we handed over the party to Wananchi. The Wananchi owned it. So other parties, we left them in the high offices with the leaders holding the party, and ours we relinquished it to Common Mwananchi. And now Common Mwananchi went on the ground to campaign for the party, which they feel that they owned the party and it was closely associated to them, and they had kept it on their chests. And that is how we managed now to sweep the votes.
Let me take you back a bit. Obviously, you're talking about why you became chairperson of UDA, a firebrand politician who has for quite some time stuck with Kalonzo Musyoka, except in 2017 when you differ ideologically with Kalonzo Musyoka and you keep away from the elections. One wonders, at what point then does Muthama decide that I am going to support President Dr. William Ruto?
Listen to me. First of all, in my political life, I supported Moi, who is not a Kamba. I supported Kibaki, who is not a Kamba. It is only in 2007 when I decided to support Kalonzo as a presidential candidate. We attempted to do that. But later on, the whole brigade of ODM Kenya, we went and joined Mwai Kibaki, who is not a Kamba. Then from there, I started to realize that this business of having politics based on communities is going to take us far. You know the role I played in Raila's campaign in 2013. I was even accused of forcing certain leaders to go and join Raila. I was doing that because I did not want to cocoon myself in one corner of a community called Wakambas and start saying we are defending our rights. We are here to give our community what they deserve. I went and supported Raila Amolo Odinga. Then in 2017, I repeated the same, even despite the fact I was not a candidate. And I said I'm not standing. I went to support Raila Amolo Odinga. So if you look at my political record, there's no one day. Yes, I'm tough in politics, and I don't deny that. But also I make my choices in the right way. And one of it was to unite Kenyans. I'm so happy that by voting as one block of Kenyans, there was no shedding blood in this country forever, the first time. And this is what I went around promising Kenyans, that if we elected President William Samoei Ruto as the president of Kenya, there will be no shedding blood in this country. Because we are united, we will win. And we will advise our people, vote, go home and wait for the results. And that is exactly what they did. And you can see now the other side of the opposing side, that is of Azimio, against Kenya Kwanza. They realized that we were not interested with chaotic situations. And they also told their leaders, not the leaders, we told our supporters, vote and go home and wait for the results. Azimio never said that, but their supporter told them, we voted for you, go and ask Jabukati where he has kept your vote. Don't come to us and tell us to go and demand for our vote by demonstrating on the streets. We are not going to do that. So all along, all the way, and my beliefs and my commitment is to see this country united. Muthama should not be anything, but Muthama should be a uniter and a person who will play that role of uniting Kenyans.
Going back to the party, because you say one of the reasons why the party was successful is the devolving of its structures to the grassroots, so it became popular amongst the voters. Is that the only thing that made UDA successful? What would you say about internal organization of a party?
Before we get to the internal organization, talk about the policies. We had the Sera to sell to wananchi. We had our manifesto, which moved Kenyans. And we sold it with so much confidence that Kenyans, they believed in it. And we are going to implement that manifesto the way we had promised Kenyans. Coming to the internal organization, of course, For a vehicle to be driven near to Mombasa without an accident, that means the driver is good of the vehicle. You trust and believe in that driver. So when you look at the touts also who are the conductors in the bus, they are also good people, but the bus has passengers. So what we are saying here is that under the leadership of the party leader, William Samoei Ruto, who gave me the opportunity and the space to manage this party and arrange on the way forward and show to Kenyans what we are having and what we can give to Kenyans in terms of leadership. That space made me to play the role that gave us victory with others. You can see if you look at the next team of UDA, is a team of people of substance, good thinkers, good believers, Muslims and Christians, people who have got clean hands, who have been there before leading and wanting to lead, young and old, we are all mixed there, and we deliberate things in a very open, democratic way. This is the secret. Ruto can give you an assignment and leave you to fulfill. He will not interfere with it. And you have even, he has demonstrated that. When he was sworn in, up to now, he has never sacked one cabinet minister from the office. If he has a cabinet today, he's still meeting with Uhuru Kenyatta's former cabinet secretaries. Why? Why? Because he wants to unite this country. And despite the fact that he has taken over the leadership of this country, he cannot afford to mistreat Kenyans who has been serving in their government, in their country, according to the constitution of this country. So he gave that space, and he is moving with the same space, same speed, within the same space to create that unity that is required by Kenyans.
In your public pronouncements, and particularly the NDC, the National Delegates Conference of the UDA party, yourself and Veronica Maina were, of course, exuding a lot of confidence about how possible it is, and it will be possible in terms of the formation of a Kenya Kwanza government led by President William Ruto of UDA. But I'm just interested in your personal space as the chairperson of UDA, did you entertain doubts that this was going to be possible?
You know, first of all, we believed in ourselves. We knew we are a strong party. But that did not form the decision to reject or to stop other Kenyans from admiring on what we were doing and making their decision to come and join us. So in that function, we moved the country. And the members of our coalition now who are in Kenya Kwanza, they saw there is no stopping UDA from winning the elections. So who will wish to be associated with a team that is going to lose? Of course, you'll be associated with the team that is going to win. And there was no party that was strong enough outside UDA that could have won the elections alone. They could only make that impact by joining others and moving together as a team. And that is why I had the confidence that sooner or later we are going to have our friends joining us. And that turned out when Mudavadi invited UDA members to his inauguration of his campaigns at Bomas of Kenya. There you could read the signs that as Kenyans, ANC invited friends like Ford Kenya and all other political parties who were there. The message was very clear that for the first time, we want these teams to be together. For the first time, we want to win this election together.
Senator, hakuna mahali ilifika ukafikiria hii kitu nayo ni ngumu.
And I tell you, with great confidence, we were ready to go all the way to the end. And we knew we were to win. And one of the confidence of winning is you stand here and you see that vehicle passing there and you say, apana, simamisha hiyo basi, that is the bus that will take me to Nyahururu. I don't want another one. Because you have shown and you have seen the confidence with the driver and the bus itself. So we were not worried at all. And by the way, my younger brother, if you go into politics, you go like Barcelona playing Real Madrid. What happens? There must be a winner and a loser. So if Barcelona, they get to be beaten by Real Madrid in that game, they say we competed, we fought, we lost. Real Madrid won. We live to fight another day. We were not scared of losing. And we were not concerned about us losing. We were concerned about us winning the election. We went for a win. We were to win, and we knew that we were going to win. There was nothing to stop us from doing that. So even the loss came, we were ready for it. And say, we staged a good fight, we lost, Azimio, well and good. This is what I want to encourage my brother Raila to do. Now he started, when he was with Moi in 1997, he blamed Moi of stealing. 2002, at least he gave in and supported Kibaki. 2007, he complained of Kibaki stealing. 2013, he complained about Uhuru stealing. 2017, he complained about Uhuru stealing. 2022, now he says the international community does not want him to be the president of He has blamed everybody in this country. The only now organ that was remaining to be blamed was the international community, which he did. So he should learn that there are winners and losers in every game. We were ready to lose and go home and shake hands with the winner.
Okay. Before we talk about the future, let's talk about stemming internal rebellion, or what you would say if there were any issues in terms of follow-up. For example, the nominations. I know this falls in the purview of the National Elections Board, but of course there were kind of fallouts that came to the public, but in a day or two were stemmed by the party. I don't know how you managed to stem that fallout, because in other parties it becomes very serious.
This myth, English myth, of disagree to agree. As long as you practice that, you get where you want to go. Don't agree to disagree. You'll never get anywhere. But if you disagree to agree, you will be able to get where you are going. We knew human beings, they don't get satisfied quickly. And there will be all kinds of complaints and excuses in losing nominations. But the point is this: you cannot have two winners in one position. It will be always one. What we did was to lay down things in the open. In every nomination, we had areas where we had done our opinion polls and realized that so and so cannot win. So, tumeita watu, we displayed everything in the open. This is your number, this is your competitor's number, this is your competitor's number. Looking at the three, James is the one, or Jane is the one who stands to win. What do you want to tell us? Because we want to win. Not forcing that person to accept that position. And discussion was opened up with disagreement in the first place. At the end of the day, with the capacity of the chair, the capacity of the National Election Chair Board, the capacity of the NEC and the organizers of the elections, well-selected team that carried the capacity to convince and give the truth the way things are, we managed now to pick one candidate. There are areas where nominations took place, and there were complaints that I lost. We sat down also. We went through the whole process with the returning officers, giving evidence of what happened. Where there were issues, we dealt with them, serious ones. Having disagreements to agree. So we managed our nominations in the best way that you can say it has never happened in the Republic of Kenya with any party's nomination. And we ended up as a united team without having problems. Why? Because starting with the chair himself, you see, we did not go for people's money. That's one thing that kills political parties in this country. You find in nominations, people are ready to sell certificates, nomination certificates. With UDA, under chairmanship of Muthama, there was nothing like that. And it was a clear position that nobody should attempt to ask for a coin from any candidate. It was sealed, it was agreed upon, and nobody ever who managed to come and say, I was told to give this money to be given nomination certificate. No. Money that was to be paid was nomination fees paid to the party's account, nothing short of that. And that is one thing that kills the political party's nomination in this country. You find even the party leader is seeking for money. He's telling people, bring me 1 million, bring me 2 million shillings, I'll give you a certificate. Ruto, as party leader of UDA, never asked who has been issued with the nomination certificate. People called him, and as a leader, he said, what is your problem? Oh, this is my problem. Okay, see the chair, see the committee, this is the nomination committee. If you don't get your problem solved, then talk to me. He was also very open. He was not a shy away person when people needed to talk to him. He talked to them and gave them guidance on how their problems could be solved. And that's why we managed to come out successfully as a united team with no complaint.
Your Secretary General is now nominated senator. There are those who are asking, why aren't we seeing Muthama's name in the list of cabinet released by President Dr. William Ruto?
Let me explain this in very short terms. Do you know, leaders, they don't work for themselves. Leaders, they work for others. Look at Mzee Jomo Kenyatta when he went to jail for 7 years. When Mzee Kema, when he was there, it did not matter whether he would be killed, slaughtered, hanged, or whatever. He went there believing that he may come out alive or he may not come out alive. So he took that risk. He did not care if he dies, who becomes the president of Kenya. Otherwise, he could have waited outside. His colleagues, the same. They were leaders. Leaders, they don't care the price they pay for others to benefit. So what I wanted first of all to see was an open, democratic political party that does not do to people what I saw in 2017 with the party I was. That's one cause. Number two, I said to United Kenyans. So if you tell, you ask Muthama, was there an agreement between you and the Ruto of what you will be given? I'll tell you yes. There was an agreement that democracy must be practiced in the country. Kenyans must be served fairly, And we must eliminate tribalism in this country. That's my agreement with Ruto.
Okay.
And if you look at the name of the list, my goodness, let us put it in this way. If I was to appear in the list of nomination, then to Kenyans it meant those who worked for this party are the ones who deserve everything. Mm-hmm. Those who gave themselves and went into the leadership, they're the ones who qualifies to be nominated. So I could not attempt to touch that. Even the cabinet secretaries, if today I was one of those who were announced to be candidates for cabinet secretaries to be vetted by parliament, what will people say? Whether Muthama was good or bad, Ruto had no choice but to nominate him. So I have to demonstrate this, that we should not work to be repaid. We should not serve the country to be rewarded. And that is why we are going to eliminate corruption. Why? Nobody is working for returns. The returns are based on you people to be served. You people to get what you deserve from your government. We are going to apply the public administration management, which means the needs of the people comes first before ours. So Veronica, she served in Jubilee. Freely, she never got anything. But now when the names were being listed for nomination, I truly, for Kenyans, I asked her to put her name there because she had worked. She had never been to parliament. Muthama worked. Muthama has been an MP. Muthama has been a senator. Muthama has a space in this country. Do I need to introduce myself to you? No. If I walk on the streets there, everybody knows me. And how do they call me? Mheshimiwa. They don't even ask me, why are you not an MP? Why are you not a senator? Why are you not a CS? They call me Mheshimiwa. Good morning, habari yako. And that now makes me tick and move. That's what I was looking.
Okay. I hope this doesn't put you at an odd position with your bosses, because during the campaign period, you appeared to have a problem with your rival in Machakos, that is Dr. Alfred Mutua. His name has made it to cabinet. Are you okay with that?
The nomination of CS is the prerogative of the president. He has that space to do what he wants. I may not agree with Mutua. I may not believe in the things that Mutua does, but the party that I supported and the president I supported found it important to make him a CS. Let him serve the country. He's a Kenyan.
The president has shown in his appointments, even the likes of Moses Wetangula, a principal, and Musalia Mudavadi, that the president is rewarding or making true his promises to his friends and loyalists. So the question is, what is this big thing coming towards Muthama's way? Because you must be sure, Senator.
I have a role to play,
Yeah.
which I'm playing today. One of them, I'm the national chairman of UDA party. Do you know I chair a meeting that brings in together 7.2 million Kenyans who voted for the president and his deputy. Who else has that capacity to chair such a meeting? Such a meeting? I'm the only one. That's one big role that should not be forgotten. Number two, Kenya still needs to be served. There are areas, many areas, even sweeping work needs people to do that, to make our country clean. There is no in charge of sweeping. What about if I become the senior sweeper in this country and I make sure that the country is clean? I will have served my country. Yeah. And I would have dedicated my services to the country. I'll be a proud person to say, being in charge of sweeping, the country is clean. But now, going back, the same mandatory given by the constitution to the president, he will think of where he thinks Muthama can serve in the best way. And that's where we'll go. Yes.
We wind up the national chairperson of the UDA party. You also carry the responsibility of implementing the manifesto that the president, gave to Kenyans and the promises therein. How would you respond to the critics of the administration who are saying now the time for talking is over, the time of blaming the previous administration is over, it's time to get to work?
Let us face the naked truth in that point. Ruto was sworn in about 2-3 weeks ago. He is yet to swear in his ministers. He is yet to swear in his principal secretaries. He is yet to cover all the departments with his choices of people he wants to work with. These people are just hyper for nothing. They just feel restless. And they think now they want to tell Kenyans, Ruto is failing, he's not doing what he said, he's not fulfilling the commitments. But how many days and with who? Because they expected him to move there and start sacking people with the point I explained to you in details. He has kept that. So give him time, form his government, lay down his strategies, and then adopt the tactics of implementing the same strategies. And that is coming. So if you hear somebody like, I don't want to call names, saying, fulfill what you said. These are the same people who tried to pick papers to be the speakers of the Senate. They realized that there was no space. They dropped them on the compound. They ran to National Assembly speakers, collected the papers. They were told we are not going to elect you. They dropped them down.
People you're not mentioning, we can guess who they are.
Well, you may guess, but there are many. I think those who wanted to be are many. But I'm saying some of them are the ones who are criticizing Ruto and saying he haven't fulfilled what the commitment he has been he gave. But they are failing to say that they failed to give and fulfill the commitment of going all through to the Debe. But they got punctured on the way and they had no spare wheel and the vehicle stopped once and for all. So don't worry about them. Those are noisemakers. And the issues they are trying to do, they are not going to work. Look at the calculative movement the president is making. You saw him first of all fulfilling the constitution, what it says about GSC. GSC and set out the mapping, the vetting, the planning of judges to be appointed. Say, bring the law. This is what it says, fulfill. See the tours he have made now, the port in Mombasa. Look at the tours he have made into our neighboring countries to solidify the commitment of Kenyans to our neighbors. That we are brothers and sisters, we are willing to work with you, we are going to work with you, we are going to do what it takes so that he can come back now to the country after now having all that done in our neighboring countries and now marshal the problems of Kenyans, where we are going now to share our resources in Tanzania, Kenya, Uganda, Ethiopia, and the region in the southern, eastern. So we are out, we are capable, we have what it takes, and those things will be done. So those noisemakers, you should tell them to wait. 2032 is when they will be able to talk about, because Ruto is not going anywhere. I'm telling you, the work that this man is going to do in this country, it will be, the election will be UDA and it will be Ruto unopposed and the president of Kenya without intimidation. Mtu atakuwa akiangalia anasema ni Ruto tu, hapana, wachana hiyo.
All right. Senator Johnstone Muthama, thank you very much for talking to us. And of course, don't get tired, because we'll keep looking for you in the course of this government to actually ask you questions as regards to your promises as the UDA party to the Kenyans in selling your vision. But thank you very much for your time. Tonight, we have been speaking to Senator Johnstone Muthama. He's the chairperson of the UDA party, the governing party. Keep watching KBC because Kenya is watching.